at the, what was the venue called? The Newport in Colombia, right? All right. I love Australia. I just had a delicious breakfast at the hotel, and I'm about to head out. Is the audio good here? We're playing in Los Angeles in like 6 months, 5 months, something like that. Those dates will be announced sometime soon. I'm pretty sure those are confirmed. Good, you can hear me. 10th and 11th show in Boston. Excellent. Tell all your friends in Boston to come on out. What's your favorite show you put your? What is the favorite show you put your music in? I don't know what you mean by that, but I like putting music in shows. 2012 Brooklyn. Did Kiss Me Son of God. Oh, that's cool. We don't do that song very often. I enjoy doing that song, but I think Linnell is tired of it. Tell us about the recording process for Apollo 18. Apollo 18 was, I describe it casually to my musician friends as being like stuck in the MIDI cave. But when really what it was like sort of a sampling in MIDI cave. There had been a lot of innovations with affordable sampling, and it gave you the ability to self-sample and create sample libraries and create arrangements with these very extensive sample libraries. Things, little tiny bits of sound taken from professional recordings, home sampling, all that. And we just really went crazy with that stuff. It was we had been working with drum machines up until then that were sort of preset, but Apollo 18 was all kind of, you could really create your own palette of sounds and then arrange the songs that way. So it was really, and then very soon after that, we started working with a live band. When we toured with Apollo 18, we started working with a live band, so everything changed. And I think it was kind of in the nick of time because we were really becoming, the whole process was getting very slow and kind of cloistered, actually, working that way. So there you go. Have you listened to Skylarking by XCC yet? I have not. I know it's really kind of lame. Southeast anytime. Yes, we're coming to the Southeast, I believe, in February, March. Right before the Joko Cruise, we're doing a bunch of shows in the Southeast, and then we're doing the Joko Cruise. Drums and Wires by XCC. Yeah, that's a solid album. What are your thoughts on Weird Al? I've always liked Weird Al. I feel like Weird Al is like an example of like an original artist who really kind of knows who he is. BBL Drizzy Everybody, that's the one. Oh, there you go. I got a hat. What was it like making Join Us? Join Us was weird. Well, the actual making of Join Us was relatively uneventful, but like 3 months before we started doing Join Us, we had finished. We had done essentially done 2 kids projects in a row because Disney had us on this very tight deadline. Even though Disney was very open about how we constructed our albums, and there was very little A&Ring or oversight. I mean, it was just like we were the creative engine behind the Disney projects. The thing they really cared about was just having stuff on schedule, because Disney works in a really different way than a lot of other record companies. They have price and position in big box stores like Walmart's and stuff like that. So they have to deliver product on a calendar, whether they have product or not, to fulfill the things, the space they've already rented. So they're very, very serious about their deadlines. And we had really had to focus up and get these things done. And then we just said, like, okay, that's done. Now we're ready to do the next, regular album. And of course, like, we kind of weren't. And it was the first and maybe the only time really we went into the studio without having very much material, and the material we had was really odd, and it just was turned into kind of a false start. We actually canceled some studio time and did stuff that it's just not the kind of thing. All right. I'm covering the mic. Is that you're saying? How am I covering? Where? I don't even know where. How can I be covering the mic? I'm muted? No. Where is the mic on this thing? Can you hear me now? Tell me if you can hear it. Okay, I didn't do anything. I'm holding the phone the same way I was holding it before. Sorry about that. Well, you missed some precious and insightful information about my process with Disney. Okay, lyrics on I Like Fun. I Like Fun is a weird song. I mean, you could sort of say that the perspective of the it's an unreliable narrator song, I guess is really what it is. It's like, it's kind of that weird, unlikely pro-drug message that very few people are trying to figure out how to get out into the world. Okay, I'm sorry about the audio here, folks. My phone is actually sort of smashed. I always make fun of people for having smashed phones, and mine's smashed. I got no game. Oh, look, that's a good hat. All right, so all right, here are the questions. Can you and Linnell hold hands and spin in circles on a gorgeous green mountain in Switzerland? Well, that would be very sweet. I have no idea if John would be up for that. No update. Do you prefer mint carved version of Edith Head and older, or the L? Okay, so the Edith Head that's on Long Tall Weekend is the one with the loud vocal. That was the original. I think it's less persuasive. I mean, that was the sort of regular version, and it just didn't seem specific or focused or special enough, and that's why we changed it to the sort of more controlled vocal, which is something that we started doing really for the first time. I don't think we ever revisited the idea of how to do a vocal until right around then, and then that became kind of a thing in our repertoire, like actually doing like a quieter vocal. I mean, maybe just like sort of whisper vocals became in vogue. It was you heard a lot of female whisper vocals in advertising around then and stuff like that. And I don't mean to say that like, we were going to start singing stuff in, little girl advertising voices, but, be something to look forward to if we did. As far as older, that's John's composition completely, and he had real ambitions about how to do it sonically, and we did it that way. It's a little controversial. There are people in our organization who found the sounds of those acoustic instruments, the crumhorn and whatever the other instrument is, they found those kind of a little tough. I think it was interesting. Ultimately, I don't know how if it was. I don't think it was any more or less successful than the way we do it live. Actually, maybe the live version is just a little bit more straightforward. Some political takes. Vote early and often. I don't want to go back. Do you like Kimmy Dawson? I have hung out with Kimmy Dawson a little bit. She's a lovely person. She's as I said in the past, she's a true bohemian. She's somebody who's really, she's just like a cool, like kind of a double cool person. She's exactly what you want in your friends. She's kind of got zero bullshit with her. Atlanta. Are those shows announced? Hello. Are those shows in Atlanta on sale? Are we playing the Variety Playhouse? I would love to play in Alaska. Um, but it's never on the circuit. Do you like Blondie? I worked in a record store when Blondie came in to do an in-store signing, and nobody showed up. It was like I was the record store clerk in the Spinal Tap skit, and Blondie was the talent. It was really weird. It was for the album Plastic Letters, and I was in the Harvard Square Strawberries, and it was really awkward because I was the only person in this. Also, I was the only person in the store who actually really knew who Blondie was, and I loved Blondie, and I felt like I was part of like the worst day of her life. What do you think of the Soul Coughing Union? About Time. I love those guys. What a great band. Like, what a great bunch of musicians. Those guys opened for us a bunch of times, and they were amazing. All right. How far do you plan ahead when it comes to touring dates or event planning? Well, in recent years, many things have made it impossible to make any kind of long-term plans. So we can't pretend that we run are really in control of our schedules. Come back to the U.S. We will. Nathaniel says, "Notice me." Nathaniel, you are noticed. Epic Skate Tape 5 says, "This is the first time I've ever seen this." Well, this is the second time I've ever done this. Would you ever play Man It's So Loud in Here disco style ever again? I suppose we could, but it would be kind of like a tech thing, and I think overall we try to minimize the tech thing. Do you like Blondie? Everybody likes Blondie. Blondie are the best. What's really great is the drumming on the song. I think it's Dreaming. The drummer in Blondie is going ham on that song. Okay. Say hi to your best friend Lark. Hello, Lark. What is your inspiration for Pistol Rain? That's a Linnell song. I feel like I knew the story behind it when we were putting it together, but I can't even remember now. I need to hear the Glamour of Rock. The Glamour of Rock recording is done. It's a beautiful horn chart, and the horn players do a great job with it. Do you feel yummy? I just had breakfast, and it was a very healthy breakfast, and it was quite great. All right, here you go. Can you come to Alaska? Of course we will. But I don't know if Alaska's got to get like a ambitious rock promoter to get bands from the U.S. Bands from the contiguous states up there. I said bands from the U.S. That's the uncoolest thing you could possibly say. I have green eggs and ham? Yes, I did. How do you get involved with Disney and the Mickey Mouse Club? They called us. They needed some. They might be trying some flavor for their ubiquitous children's programming. All right. Let's see. All right. So, folks, feel free to hit those hearts and likes and things. Evidently, that is how people get notified. If you get more hearts and likes and stuff. I love Prevenge so much. Such a great song. I just heard that song the other day, and I have to say, I think it's a really good production. It sounds really cool. Like it's really heavy, turbo and heavy, and unlike a lot of other things, it's like very fully realized. And I don't know why we only played that song a couple of times, but it was very intense. I hope to hear With the Dark one day. We've done versions of With the Dark, like the original, the full length, ballad song of With the Dark, and I think it comes out nice. It's like, but the truth is, like a song like that in the set, it's kind of inevitably going to be like the quietest song in the show, and with a song as beloved as like Dead is, it's hard to opt for the song that's less known and maybe less appreciated when you have this other song that's, you know, so popular with so many people. Gaga covers, can't imagine that happening. But then again, we've been playing this tub thumping song, so I think anything is possible. Wow, I just left Asheville and finally got internet turned on TikTok. And that's great. Well, I hope everybody you were with in Asheville is okay. That's been a very concerning story. I'm to be on the other side of the world and have those events go down is very disconcerting. Love TMBG in Pittsburgh. Come back soon. My husband and I had an instrumental of Dr. Worm at our wedding. How funny. Yes, Clem Burke. That's his name. Clem Burke is amazing. He does things like with toms that you just like people don't do. How often do you guys trade songs? Are you writing and giving it to the other one? Not that often, but I would say pretty routinely. Probably like once an album, I guess. And it's not really done in a preset way. It's like we'll have like stacks of lyrics or stacks of rhythms or chord progressions or bass lines or something. Like a song like "I Lost Thursday" is a really good example because basically John really gave me a bass line and that was it. It was just like this kind of crazy, funky bass line, and I did a MIDI thing with it and turned it into like a keyboard part, and then it went, became into something else. And what do I think of Billy Joel? I have complicated feelings about Billy Joel. Generationally, like everybody grows up when they grow up, and people grow up in different times. And I must admit, as a teenager, I really saw Billy Joel kind of as the enemy. That seems like a very petty and silly thing to think. John, what's your opinion on the Talking Heads? Well, you see, that's sort of the exact opposite. I thought of the Talking Heads as the band, the premier band that was fighting like the good fight for good music, and I felt like their popularity was a measure of the music culture moving forward. I love the Talking Heads, but most of all, I loved what the Talking Heads kind of stood for, which was originality and all that stuff. And that's not that much. They were great. I saw them a bunch of times. They're a really transformative band. David Byrne is amazing. Tina Weymouth's amazing. Chris, the drummer, is also, speaking of great drummers, what a great drummer. Say hi to Cheeseball. Hello, Goo. Hi to Cheeseball. Strong Sad from Homestar Runner. Everybody loves Strong Sad. SpongeBob, the musical. It's awesome. Let me see. Flansburgh, do I like Chapel Roan? She has some very catchy songs. What's not to like? I hope she's okay. There's a lot of scuttlebutt going around about her, but she's obviously having a kind of a peak moment right now, and it's probably a lot of pressure. Is the sound okay? I don't know if I feel like I'm wrecking the sound. How do you feel? Do you like Sabrina Carpenter? I think it's fascinating that Sabrina Carpenter has a hit song that is basically two little loops that you can get on the free loop sites. And that's her hit song. That's amazing. Your favorite album by Ween? I don't know Ween's albums well enough to have a favorite. I just know a couple of their songs, which I enjoy. Okay. Well, the Decemberists. Guys, this is just turning into like who do you like a special episode of Do You Like? Thoughts? Oh, wait. Okay, hold on a second. Thoughts on Jack Antonoff as a producer? I sort of do have thoughts on Jack Antonoff as a producer. I think he's like a very, very talented guy. But I also wonder if well, he's done a lot of different things as a producer, and they sound different from each other. So I should shut up. But I think he's, obviously he's an impressive dude. He's one of those guys who's like kind of can do anything. Uh, what's your what's your least favorite instrument to play? Um, I find it frustrating that I can't play the keyboards better at this late date in my life, because I've been sort of pawing at the keyboards for almost my entire life, and I'm no better than I was when I was 15, and it's just like not fair because everybody gets better at instruments except me. Um, yes, I think we're coming to the West Coast in the spring. Um, uh, let's see. Do you know if you're going to come to St. Louis again soon? I don't think it's going to be too soon, but I'm sure we'll be back relatively soon. I mean, we have these spring shows in a bunch of places in the United States we haven't been in a while, and then I think we're going to release an album and kind of regroup, and then plan a big tour, probably something like the big show tour that we did in the Midwest, where we're playing multiple nights and doing different shows each night. That's what we really like doing the most these days, because it's musically um, satisfying, and like it's gratifying to do very different shows from night to night. It keeps us entertained, not entertained, keeps us challenged and excited about the repertoire, and it also slows down our travel enough that it's not that touring isn't just a total blowout, exhausting enterprise. What are my top four favorite movies? The four movies I have just downloaded last night were Barton Fink, Ed Wood. What was the other ones? I can't remember the other ones. I actually just downloaded a bunch of movies. Not my perennials, but they're the ones that are top of mind right now. I just started watching Ed Wood, and I got to say that's a really, really well put together movie. Um, hey everybody! I hope everybody's registered to vote. It's This is an important election. Um, Favorite thing I've done so far in Australia? I haven't done much. As I said a few years ago, I've kind of given up. Even though our touring movements have slowed down a little bit, I'm still feel a little agoraphobic. I got to do my laundry. That was my favorite thing in Australia. I haven't done anything touristy. Who gets more boat sick on the Joko cruise? Probably me. Um, I'm voting. Yes, vote, vote. It's important. And the important thing is to vote for Kamala Harris, because I I can't go back to the other thing. Um, yes, I can say hi to your dad, Stephen. Hey, you spelled my name wrong. All right. Yay, Marty Beller. Yes, please. All right. So, what else do I need to say? Yeah. Just algorithmically, we're not trying to monetize and nothing here, but just algorithmically to make these things more popular. Please hit the hearts and minds button on this thing, so when we come back online, more people can see it. Let's see. All right. Thanks for coming all the way to Australia. Yeah, it's our pleasure. Um, One thing well, I said this before, but the produce in Australia is absolutely amazing, and it makes all dining fantastic. It's just like a beautiful experience because all the vegetables are like jewel-like. Um, and let's see. Do you like Fargo? I love Fargo. Our friend Adam Bernstein, the director of Birdhouse, the videos for Birdhouse and Don't Let's Start, he actually directed a bunch of the Fargo TV shows. Um, is John Linnell real? He's shockingly real. Sharks or bears? I have to tell you, like a couple months ago, we had a bear at our house in Sullivan County, New York, and it was kind of a shock. Bears are scary. Why did you guys decide to make Here Comes Science? When we actually started working with Disney, that was the concept album that the president of Walt Disney Records wanted us to do. That was his thing, and we we thought it seemed like a fine idea, but we wanted to start with something more sort of something that have a wider appeal. But we got to it, and it was a very fruitful project. You got the drumstick at the Milwaukee concert. Good for you. We should let you sneak into the St. Louis show. You've got to sneak yourself in. That's how sneaking into shows works. It's up to you. Nobody sneaks somebody in. All right, folks, I think I'm going to have to wrap this up, but I want to thank you all for participating. And if you know anyone in Australia, tell them that we're coming to your town. There's still tickets available for the Brisbane show and also for the Perth show. There's one show in Perth that is not sold out. And I think has like a lot of tickets left. And that's the last show of the tour. So help us not have the saddest, strangest show of the tour also be the last show of what otherwise is pretty much a sold-out, very successful tour. It would be a very sad and unfitting end to what otherwise would be considered a roaring success. What's the brand model of my glasses? My glasses are made by an online company called... what is it called? Miklos. Miklos is the name. Caddis. Caddis is the name of the company, and the style is Miklos. Caddis. I think they might be. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they're from, but I don't think they're. I think there might be a European brand. They're very affordable, and they're really high quality. If you get just the regular readers. They're not super cheap, but they're like less. They're like $80 or something like that. They always have stuff on sale. They've got lots of good stuff on sale. Here we go. Will we ever get the unreleased Coraline soundtrack? There's not. The stuff. There's demo things that they're just really sketchy and kind of misguided. The stuff that didn't work, it didn't get in the movie for a reason. I would say. They were trying to make the songs do like sort of double purposes and it just didn't. It was sort of misguided effort. We were just. I feel like we were just the tailors in that situation, and they had their own ideas. Is there anything that might be trying to lost media that you remember? I don't quite know what that means, except maybe like things I was just talking about. I don't know. There's we've gotten most of the stuff we're proud of out into the world. Hey. I don't know what you'll have to. Well, anyway, I'll see you cats and kittens later. Thanks so much for being here. Hit that hearts and minds button as fast as possible. We need the algorithm to like this thing, and follow this TikTok feed. It needs you. Adios.